What's up everyone? Welcome to a character showcase for the newest unit to drop in Tokyo Ghoul Break the Chains, Naki Prisoner. Naki is a non-exclusive speed-type Aogiri backup unit support, obtainable from the current event banner. He is very likely to be a recurring unit on future legacy banners. Stat-wise, he is built like an absolute wall, ranking 3rd in defense and 2nd in HP, making him one of the tankiest and hard to kill units in the entire game. However, his attack stat is very low, sitting at 60th place overall, so don't expect him to be doing much damage himself. Interestingly though, for a non-exclusive unit, his CP ranking is surprisingly high, sitting at 8th place, even beating out some big names like Kaneki Centipede and Amon Dojamakai. Naki's active deals single target impale damage, completely ignoring the target's defense. On his 6th star, this becomes Ultra Impale, ignoring defense and also 30% of the target's block chance. At the start of battle, Naki grants all Aogiri Tree allies a buff called Cage Break for 2 turns. This increases their active skill damage by 20% and non-active skill damage by a further 20%. When Cage Break expires, the skill levels of those allies are increased by 1. Additionally, whenever an Aogiri Tree ally uses a non-active skill, like Noro Overpower's Starter Turn or Retaliate attack, the target receives 1 stack of Prison Cage, up to 2 stacks. Each stack of Prison Cage reduces the target's basic stats by 8%, and at 2 stacks, they're inflicted with Forbidden for 2 turns, preventing their skill levels from being increased. Note that Forbidden is a red debuff, so it can be cleansed. The stats of all allies are increased by 4% for each Aogiri Tree ally on the field. Whenever an Aogiri Tree ally takes damage, the attacker's pen rate and crit damage are reduced by 20% for 2 turns. If the attacker is also inflicted with Prison Cage, their defense-related stats are reduced by an additional 10%. The pen rate and crit damage debuffs are cleansable red debuffs, but the defense-related debuff is uncleansable as it is a grey debuff. When an ally with Cage Break dies, all remaining allies gain a 5% boost to HP-related stats for 2 turns, stacking up to 4 times. Whilst Naki is on the field, all Aogiri Tree allies also gain 5% attack and 5% pen rate. Whenever an Aogiri Tree ally takes damage from an active skill, their maximum HP is increased by 2%, stacking up to 4 times. When Naki himself takes damage, all allies deal 1.5% more damage, also stacking up to 4 times. Naki's biggest strength is how well he synergizes with non-active heavy Aogiri Tree units, especially Ayato Wings of Power Seeker, Tatara Wordless Hunger, and of course Noro Overpower. He brings an incredible amount of CP to your team, and he easily reaches over 200,000 CP even without being maximum level. He also requires no setup whatsoever. Naki's buffs are all active immediately from the start of battle, and not just from your first turn. Thanks to his tanky stats and damage reduction effects, keeping him alive is extremely easy. Almost all of Naki's debuffs are red, meaning they can be cleansed by supports like Hinami Growing Teenage Girl or Itori Helter Skelter, which can completely remove his control pressure. He's also very reliant on Noro Overpower to apply debuffs during the enemy's turn, so without Noro, a lot of his potential gets wasted. Despite his active skill ignoring defense, his base attack stat is so low that it's rarely worth using his cards offensively. Cage Break cannot be reapplied at all during battle, so you're only able to benefit from this buff for the first 2 turns. The current meta team with Naki Prisoner is Noro Overpower, Ayato Easter, Yamori Torture, Naki Prisoner, and Kaneki Combat Outfit as your backup. Alongside Naki's high defense and HP stats, pairing him with M-Ken makes it even harder to remove Naki from the field because of M-Ken's Fear debuff, reducing attackers' basic stats and disrupting their active skills. Additionally, Yamori Torture adds great offensive pressure by shredding the enemy defense, and together they form one of the most durable yet deadly Aogiri Tree setups in the current meta. Also, low CP is not an issue when using this team composition. Noro is able to apply Prison Cage to the opponent's entire team through his start of turn and retaliation attacks, reducing the attacker's offensive prowess and almost guaranteeing that Naki will live until your turn. This will further increase your team's offensive prowess through Naki's exclusive skill passive, and almost guaranteeing for you to wipe the opponent's team on your turn. M-Ken's Fear further reduces the attacker's damage, and further increasing Naki's survivability, ensuring that his buffs stay in play for longer. Naki Prisoner is a fantastic addition to your Aogiri tree roster. He's tanky, synergizes perfectly with the current meta team, and brings an incredible amount of team-wide buffs. For a non-exclusive event unit, he is an easy recommend to summon for, especially if you're running or planning to build an Aogiri tree composition.